Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have a Dr. Insanity video that is when cops have to arrest their co-workers. We don't get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comments, thing down below. Let's go.
Usually spend their time dealing with random people they'll never see again. What happens when instead, cops are forced to battle their own ethics and arrest their co-workers?
I'm not drunk, I'm fucking pissed and I'm tired.
I know, I'm sorry.
Starting with Corporal Scott. On January
This is when we've seen a shitload of tops, but I'll let it go because I know people haven't, but this is, I've seen this so many goddamn times.
February 1st, 2021, Gainesville police were called to the scene of a crash that took place in a parking lot, but the responding officer, Brooke, had no idea who was waiting for her.
And you are Silver Car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to go back over there, I'll come get your info in just a second.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, reached out for my lighter, slammed into his ass.
cool.
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do an information
So he
exchange?
does. Now I found it.
Brooke and Scott are clearly familiar with each other, and when Scott described how the incident happened, making it clear he's at fault, Brooke decides to check with her higher-ups before moving forward with the situation, fearing a conflict of interest.
Hey, this crash, Birdie, ASO come work it? Okay. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've worked a crash with one of us in it, so. No, he's not on duty. He's in his POV. But I just didn't want there to be any, like, conflict of interest type issues. Alright, that was it. I just wanted to make sure.
Brooke gets the green light and is told there shouldn't be any problems with her handling the case. But that changes when she notices Scott's impaired state during the investigation.
So, Birdie, you giving me some indicators?
Oh,
Listen.
shit, woman.
Listen. Valdez is coming out just to. I'm not gonna lie to you about it.
She's on her way?
Yeah, she's on her way.
7610.
Hey.
Clearly he doesn't like the person that came along, he just goes, she's on her way? Yeah, she's on her way. Fantastic. Great. Can't wait.
Because I'm not really comfortable with this whole thing at all. Right now, you're being detained.
Wait, what?
I'm holding on to you because I have a supervisor coming to see if I need to do a full-fledged DUI investigation or not.
Attention all units, CPD Channel 1 Excursion 33, all units just back on Channel 1, 6.9 hours.
So please don't make my life difficult.
I would never do that to you.
Okay. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
And I apologize for putting you in that position.
This is one of the nicest cops you will find when it comes to a cop getting arrested. He is probably the most nicest and most polite. Just fortunate that you just shouldn't have been drinking and driving.
Are you on?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to remain on for integrity.
Despite the uncomfortable situation, the officer does the right thing and detains Scott. You can tell he was not happy about it, and things might have gone differently if there was no body cam involved. Coworker or not, Scott is now a suspect, and his bad night is just getting started.
I'm not drunk, I'm fucking pissed and I'm tired. Fuck me. She did it, I don't give a fuck.
Here, I'm gonna go write stuff.
Okay.
She wants to do DUI? Do it. Not gonna put you in that spot, not gonna put her in that spot.
723.
She made me aware of who it
Go
was.
ahead.
So,
Well aware.
okay.
Fair enough.
If we have any spare units,
I will
like you
never
up here at 600 West, I think it's
Put anyone in that spot.
3 people from his crew that are.
She's absolutely 100% right in what she's doing.
You can't consume anything. You're killing me.
Trying.
Come on.
722.
With the supervisor now arriving at the scene, they can proceed with the field sobriety tests. The first one went
I'm about to say, I skipped field sobriety test. I just do. They're boring me. Sorry.
So at this time, I'm asking you to come with me to the station to provide a breath sample.
It was obvious Scott was hitting the bottle that night, and when it was time to put the cuffs on him, things got a little emotional.
There's things that we can do to fix this, but
Are you gonna really not show the part where he demands they put him in handcuffs? That he demands they put him in handcuffs. Cause I remember this one. They don't want to put him, they're like, no, we're not cuffing you. He's like, yes you are. Cause they're watching right there and you're not gonna make it look like that some special treatment. You're gonna cuff me. That part is in here. I don't know why you're not showing it.
That is for my kids, my family, fucking everything. I'm sorry.
you're fine.
No,
Absolutely, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not these people. It's fine. But we already know what the game plan is.
Even though Scott showed regret for his actions, he is still a criminal that put many lives in danger.
Lost if you're in the front seat.
No.
No, that's fine. Take them around to your driver's side. Yeah.
There you go.
Listen to me.
Put them on.
I'm not gonna cuff you.
Oh, yes, you are, because they're watching.
I love that part. That I don't know what I know he's a criminal. But I appreciate this officer is not even gonna allow himself to get special treatment. He's like, no, you're not. You are not at all just gonna put me in a cuff. You are cuffing me. Put the cuffs on.
No.
Yes, you are. They're watching.
We'll cuff you over by my car.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
They're watching.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard seen a criminal, even if it is a criminal, asked to be cuffed. But he's like, listen, you're gonna keep your integrity, put the goddamn cuffs on.
Been compliant. Can I at least cuff you in the front?
Scott's insistence on being cuffed shows that at least he's not trying to exploit his position as a law enforcement officer and is willing to take responsibility for his actions. It's almost like he wanted to punish himself for what he did. Once they arrived at the police station, Scott was physically distressed and emotional, clearly regretting what he did.
I'm very sorry. They put you in this position.
Listen, if you blow and you're good, then we're golden.
Yeah.
You know I can't do that.
I can't demonstrate FSDs. Literally.
I know, but you also have nystagmus.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm not saying I haven't been. No, I'm not gonna. I mean, you're doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah, it's a lot different when they ask you in an interview saying, hey, you know, what would you do if this happened to...
I know. You're kidding. Believe me, so proud. And so sorry. All at the same time.
You're gonna make me cry.
Even though Scott proved to be one of the most polite and respectful suspects we've ever encountered, his luck took a different turn once he hit the breathalyzer test. Scott blew a .156 alcohol blood level, nearly twice the legal limit. Scott was charged with 1 count of driving under the influence with property damage, and he pleaded no contest to the charge. He was sentenced to nearly $1,000 in fines, 50 hours of community service, substance abuse and DUI classes, and a 6-month driver's license suspension. At least Scott didn't hurt anyone. A stark contrast with the next.
Yeah, he also lost his job as an officer afterwards, which for some reason you didn't bring up.
Cop who tried to conceal his brother's murderous crimes. July 2nd, 2011 was an ordinary day for Alexander Kuchevic until he was shot right outside his home. Turns out he was a big shot in the cocaine and weapons game, and to top it off, he had a secret identity due to being in the witness protection program. The #1 suspect for his murder was a man named Michael. 3 days after the murder, Daniel bought him a plane ticket to Italy. Things are understandably extremely suspicious to the investigating cops, so they decide to bring in their fellow officer Daniel for questioning regarding the whole situation.
We're investigating an allegation of murder. As part of our investigation into the offense, I'd like to interview you on tape under oath. It is a crime in Canada to lie to the police or mislead them in investigation. It's also a crime in Canada to falsely accuse another person of committing a crime. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you lie to the police, you could be charged with an offense?
Daniel appears calm and collected as they gear up for the questioning process. Being an officer himself, he's familiar with the drill, and that can obviously pose a challenge for the investigators.
What can you tell me about anything you know about this incident?
To be honest, not much. All I know is that my brother was apparently dating his wife,
Okay, when you say your brother, who's your brother?
Michael.
Michael Costa.
Michael Costa.
Who was he dating?
Anita. That's all I know. Her name is Anita. I met her maybe 3 times. That's all I've known. That's all what I've seen on the news.
Did you know she was married?
No, not until recently.
When did you find out she was married?
Saturday night.
So tell me what happened Saturday night.
I received a call from my brother, Michael, saying he wanted to come over and speak to me. Came over, started crying, telling me somebody is after him. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Said somebody's after him, somebody's after him. He said, watch the news. Somebody got killed. That's Anita's husband. And that's when he told me that he's been dating her and that she was married.
What did you talk about?
What the hell is going on? He won't tell me what's going on. All he said is that this guy was killed and they might be after me because I've been dating his wife.
And that's everything Daniel claims to know about the situation, but the detective is not buying it for even a second.
So your brother comes to you, says, watch the news. The guy's been murdered, shot and killed outside his house in Woodbridge. Your brother comes and says, I'm dating that guy's wife, Anita, who you know is Anita.
Is that even her name?
Her name's Anita, yes. Okay, so she comes to your house. He says, people are after me. You're a police officer. You're allowing this guy to come to your house, yet you know nothing about what he's involved in. Yet there's a guy lying on the street that's been killed. And you're saying, yeah, come to my house. I got my wife here.
It's my brother.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave him on the street.
But you're going to ask him what the heck happened.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me. All he says is, he got killed in front of the house, and that was it.
Are you not concerned that maybe that threat's now moved to your place?
Yes, I am. That's why I haven't slept in the last 2 days.
So therefore, wouldn't you just nail down on your brother as to what happened? Well, tell me that. Did you try?
I did. I asked him. He kept saying somebody's after me. I don't know why. The only excuse he gave me was that he's dating Anita, and that was it.
So what are the chances your brother's going to tell you what's going on?
Very slim.
Why is that?
Because he hasn't in the last 4 days. Today's Thursday.
So he's going to stay living at your house?
No.
Hiding out?
After he left.
Possibly bringing that threat to your place for you and your wife?
After he left here, he arrived at my house in a cab, grabbed his bag, and left. So I don't even know where he is now.
This is where Daniel first slips up. Like many lies, Daniel's claim of not knowing his brother's whereabouts seems foolish. Records clearly show that he used his credit card to purchase a plane ticket to Italy under Michael's name, so that one isn't going to work.
I interviewed your brother earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
He was not truthful.
As to what?
As to his role in this investigation.
Okay.
He's not being truthful, and he's not, when I asked him a question, who is that person, he would not say who it was. So what are we going to do now?
I don't know. I don't know where he is. After, like I said, after he left here, he showed up in a cab, grabbed his bag, and he said, I'm sorry, I got you in trouble. He goes, give me your card. He said, they're going to call you. So I was waiting for your call. And he left. And that's it. I don't know where the hell he went.
Despite putting Michael on a plane that very same day, he claims he has no idea where his brother is. This guy seems to believe that if he sticks to his lies and acts like he knows nothing, the detectives will eventually give up and cut him loose. But the detectives are determined to get to the bottom of things.
Did your brother ever tell you that he knew Alex?
No.
When he came over to your house, did he say?
Said he's a bad guy. That's it. What is a bad guy? He's a bad guy.
You're a cop. What do you
I know. You can only assume. I don't know. I've never even seen. I don't even know what he looks like. I don't know. Could be a biker. It could be a thing. I don't know. What's a bad guy? Bad guy can. There's all kinds of shitheads. Everybody's a bad guy.
This guy's unbelievable. There are a lot of crap here spewing, thinking people believe him.
But for him to be scared as he was, I figure it's got to be something bad. So, and now you're telling me he's a major criminal. So.
Okay, so you got this major criminal that's now been gunned down. I mean, come on, you're a cop. Guy gets shot outside of his house. It's a hit. And your brother's running scared? You don't put two and two together?
I didn't know that this guy's a major criminal.
Okay, even so, some guy gets gunned down and your brother's running from it. You're not putting two and two together.
What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to think?
What are you going to say? You're going to ask him, what the hell's going on?
I did.
You're in my home, bringing this to my family, putting
There's a difference between asking and making sure you get an answer, and then asking and being like, yeah, someone's got to get me. Okay.
My life in jeopardy, my wife's life.
Because that's clearly what it seems to be. He seems to make it seem like he did. He asked it once, the guy didn't answer. He's like, okay, well, what can I do?
Life in jeopardy. Word on the street is your brother's moving some big stuff around. He's a big man on the street. You don't question your brother. He's driving around in a $100,000 car. You go to the clubs with him?
No.
He's always at the clubs.
Okay.
Does he tell you that?
Yeah, I know he's not down. He's always at the clubs.
Okay. And what's he doing?
I don't know. I don't ask him everything he does every night.
He's your brother.
I know.
You guys not close?
We are, but he doesn't give me every detail of his life.
You're telling me your brother riding around in a $100,000 skate and you don't ask him what's going on? Where are you getting that kind of cash? Business is that good?
Apparently.
And you just slide by. That's fine with me.
Detective Cook really pushes Daniel to spill on why he couldn't get answers from his brother, but this is where he slipped up big time.
Daniel, I find this very hard to believe. And the fact that you're a police officer and you're not putting two and two together.
What am I supposed to do? I'm going to go and accuse him of different stuff?
You never accuse your kid brother of being messed up in something?
I told him he's an idiot once I found out he's dating a freaking married woman. But
and that's it. And he's running for his life after her husband's been gunned down, and you're saying, yeah, it's fine, stay in my house for 4 days?
I'm not going to say go out and wait for somebody to attack you.
No, you're going to say, tell me what the hell's going on, and then we're going to the cops.
Yeah, in retrospect, I probably should have done that.
So you're putting your life, your wife's life in jeopardy, your career in jeopardy, but you won't ask the questions of your brother?
I asked, he didn't answer. There's only so many times I can ask without him getting pissed off and leaving like he did today. He's gone.
He didn't get pissed off at you for leaving.
No, but he's pissed off that he got everything involved.
Involved in what?
In this.
Apparently you don't know anything about this.
No, I don't. You're giving me information now that what the hell? You know my head's spinning right now?
But you're his brother.
Yes.
All this has been happening. He's dating the wife of a guy that gets gunned down in front of this house, and you don't ask the questions. So you're putting yourself in a lot of jeopardy. Yeah, he's your brother. You're telling me I don't know anything about what my brother does. Yeah, you might want to be protecting him.
Even if Daniel was really this clueless, the detectives don't understand why he didn't try to find out what had happened. After all, he's a cop. It's in his nature.
Anybody who runs after a homicide, doesn't cooperate with the police, is now gone. We don't know where he is. What does that tell you?
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. It doesn't look good.
Your brother comes to your house, says, yeah, watch the news. Watch the news? Tell me what the fuck's going on. You're running because a guy...
That'll be all I need to say. Don't hear that thing too. Watch the news, a guy got killed. What the fuck did you just get yourself into? Because immediately I connected to, because like, of course you fucking would. He connected the two, that's why he sent the guy on a thing of Italy. It's easy connected to.
He got killed? And you're saying that's alright, just sleep on my couch for 4 days? You're not putting any of this together.
The detective hits Daniel where it hurts, his pride. Cook suggests that he might not be a great cop for not suspecting his own brother's involvement. This tactic is particularly effective with men who have big egos, as they can't stand the idea of looking incompetent, even if it means admitting something that could implicate them. It's a clever move to shake things up, and you can see the frustration start to seep out of Daniel.
Are you understanding the magnitude of this?
Yes.
This is a homicide.
I know.
You seem pretty calm about the whole thing.
I'm not calm. Believe me, I'm not calm.
I don't know if I do believe you, because you're going on about this. Say, well, I asked him, and well, he didn't tell me. I'm thinking you're protecting him. As his older brother, you're protecting him.
I don't know anything to protect him from.
Well, did he come to you and confide in you? That's what I'm.
No.
That's what I know that he's done. He's gone and he's got to tell somebody. Can't keep the weight of this on his shoulders forever.
How do you even know he did it?
I'm not saying he did it.
So why would he have to confide in me if he didn't do it? Or have the weight on his shoulders if he didn't do something?
He didn't have the weight on his shoulders. He didn't do something. He wouldn't have run.
If he's scared somebody's going to be killing him, yeah, I think I would run too.
If someone's going to kill you, who do you go to?
Police.
Yeah?
Or your family, and I'm both.
Yeah? And then he's gone from there. Nobody's going to have to go after him because he's banging the wife. That doesn't even make sense. They're after Buddy Boy. They got him. They're not going to go, okay, so let's go after everybody that's banging him. They'd probably shake his hand. Way to go. You're screwing the guy's wife behind his back. Yeah, we didn't like him either. If you have nothing to hide, you're around. You got something to hide, you go to ground, you're gone.
Detective Cook challenges Daniel's story, stating that if he's innocent, he should stick around, but if he's guilty, he'll go into hiding.
If he has information about this murder, that's why he's running. She's banging other guys. We talked to them. They're not running. I was banging her. Her husband's a fucking big dope dealer. They're not saying, oh yeah, we're scared. You know, what are we scared for? The guy's dead. He's never going to find out I was banging his wife. Because if you have knowledge of any of this, you have to tell us. Because if we find out later that you knew, you know what happens.
Absolutely.
Right? Don't jeopardize your family and your career over this. Is there anything else that I should know to understand your statement fully?
The detective has given Daniel a heads up about the potential consequences, laying out all he could lose, but he seems to have made his decision, and it looks like he's sticking to it, regardless of the risks. The day after this interview, Daniel did a complete 180 and admitted to not only lying, but also to unauthorized searches of police records to aid his brother. On September 16, 2016, Daniel pleaded guilty to perjury and insubordination, and was given a week to resign. However, he managed to flip the script on appeal, somehow landing only a penalty of suspension, demotion, and pay cut. Michael avoided charges, but on
How on earth?
November 13th, 2020, he was non-fatally shot outside of a cafe, surviving without any arrests made. But what the previous cop
How on earth did he not get fired? That is about as fucked up of a thing as it gets. That tells you everything about how the police... A man covered up a murder and helped a criminal escape and still got to keep his fucking job as an officer. What the fuck do you have to do to get fired in this in the police force? Fuck. This guy got fired for a DUI. This guy got to keep his job because of after covering up a murder. I don't get it anymore.
is nothing compared to Jeffrey's heinous crime. Jeff allegedly targeted and terrorized 3 women in Bloomington, stalking them and invading their homes. While inside, he would assault the women and use duct tape and pillowcases to prevent them from escaping. He would even force his victims to clean up for him and erase any evidence. However, after sensing danger weeks prior, his 3rd victim was able to alert police just before he broke into her house, allowing officers to arrive to find Jeff lurking right outside. Despite the shock of encountering a fellow cop at the crime scene, they took him into custody and began an investigation. Jeff was quickly tied to multiple assault cases from 2002 to 2005, with past victims stepping forward and recognizing his face and voice. Unfortunately, though, there was no concrete proof linking him to the crimes, so prosecution needed a confession. His fellow officers had their work cut out for them.
We want to talk about what's going on, because we're not absolutely sure what's going on. And, what are you talking about? I have to read your rights first. I'm under arrest. At this point, you're not free to go. You're under arrest. I'm not free to go. I'm under arrest. Well, we're in a custodial situation. That's why I'm going to read you your rights. Because you came down here in their car. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know where we're going to. I don't know where we're going. What's going on? I don't even know what you're talking about.
That was his first lie out of many. Jeff pretends not to know what the detective is talking about, but he knows exactly why he's there. Quickly, he becomes defensive, throwing questions around about whether he was getting arrested.
There was an issue that came up, right, out on the southwest side of town, right? You know what I'm talking about? I want to hear what you have to say about it, and I'm really hoping there is a good explanation for it all. Did you meet up with the police officer last night?
You're talking about Zeno. When I was walking around by the lake, looking at the lake down there. Again, I drove down there. I couldn't sleep. All right, houses come up for sale in that area all the time. I'm interested in buying my mother-in-law a house. She lives up in Greeley. She's, she's poor. She's on fixed income. I want her to live closer to us. Houses come for sale. There's a townhome right there for sale. It won't work, but anyway, I was looking to see what kind of access went down to that lake. That's all.
The whole time he's talking, Jeff refuses to look up and make eye contact. His body language is a dead giveaway that he's hiding something. Although Jeff used to be a former investigator, he seems to have forgotten that detectives usually know more than they're letting on.
Jeff, as a former investigator yourself, that there are things that we know, such as the way that you met. Why would you be in between two houses looking at a house?
I couldn't keep going straight. There's a drainage thing that goes down the lake. I couldn't keep walking. So I walked up, the dog started barking, and oh hell. So I walked up between the houses and go to the road. All right. He comes around, I thought maybe it was the homeowner. I was like, I don't want to startle, He startled me, so I turned to walk back down. He said, "Stop, please." I was like, "Oh, hell, it's a cop." I turned around and walked back.
Jeff, we're past the point of you were there, right? You readily admit that you were there.
Yes.
In between those two houses.
Yes. I was just walking from the lake up to the,
If you get a call of someone walking in between two houses at 12:30 in the morning,
I don't know what call brought him out there. Yes, of course.
of course, I mean, the person who called this in has every right in the world to do this, correct?
I have no idea who called it in. All right? What they called in wasn't me.
Jeff's furious reaction is a big warning sign. With his police background, he should understand more than anyone how shady it looks for someone to be lurking around houses late at night. So considering this, it's pretty unlikely that there was anything innocent about this situation.
I don't know what else you're trying to allege here. I don't want to jump to some kind of conclusion. Right? All this isn't about because I walked up between from that lake up between those two houses.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Absolutely. You know, I don't know what else you're talking about.
We're talking about you standing up with your back to the house and trying not to be identified. Holding your back up against the house and not trying to be seen as David walks by.
I was walking up. I saw someone coming, so I stopped. I turned to go back. Again, the dog's barking. I don't want somebody to think I was doing something wrong. He said, "Stop, police." I was like, "Oh, hell." So I turned around and walked up to him. Wasn't standing with my back against no house.
Well, I think you're minimizing.
I'm not minimizing anything.
Because the lady scared to death. Scared.
I don't know nothing about the lady.
I'm telling you, she was scared to death. She was an absolute basket case.
It wasn't for me.
What? Yes, you were in between the houses.
But I don't understand what you're saying. The only time I walked between those two houses.
The fact this guy actually can just believe he can lie like this and they'll just believe him is insane. Like, actually insane. I don't know how this guy thinks they just don't... Because this guy just thinks they have little information, and maybe he knows they have little information, but... Very weird.
Was when I was walking from the lake and up.
But that's where you and...
That's when I met the Zemer.
That's where you and Officer Zemer are different in what you said.
But whenever the lady was scared of, it wasn't me. It was you. How could it be me? The only time I was between the houses when I walked up and Zemer was there, she'd already called.
Jeff's overly furious and defensive reaction here is not by accident. He knows that guilty people tend to remain calm and cool so that cops like them and believe their lies. Jeff's anger gives the impression that he is being wrongly accused and is frustrated with the situation. And being a police sergeant himself, he aggressively denies the allegations in an attempt to protect his reputation and avoid the social and professional consequences. Jeff's definitely putting his police knowledge to work here. However, this detective is not letting him off easily.
But you, Jeff, think about it. I mean, it is just right down the line.
Right down what line?
I mean, he's called out there, all right? There's nobody else out there but you. This lady has someone prowling around her windows. She's a very attractive young lady.
It wasn't me. I wasn't prowling around anyone's windows. I wasn't prowling around at all. Again, when the dog's barking, I thought, I need to go by the road, and that's when I walked between the houses.
Well, what makes you decide to go look at a house at 12:30 in the morning?
I wasn't looking at the houses. I'm interested in a house in an area, and I was looking at that lake. That is all.
If you're a police officer, you know right from wrong. And
I understand.
I think you did wrong last night, and you think you did wrong last night. And I don't know why you did wrong. Because
I didn't do anything wrong. Walking up from that lane towards the road is the right thing to do at that point.
Jeff seems to believe that by persistently denying the victims' and other officers' accounts, people will eventually believe his version of events. However, it's unlikely anyone will believe he was actually browsing the property market past midnight.
Let's just go with this in chronological order. First of all, is there any reason that you can tell me why David Zemer would lie about this situation? Because I'll tell you what, he's freaked out too. Because you're one of his mentors. All right. You're one of his mentors. I don't know how I freaked him out. You don't know how he freaked out? Well, I mean, he couldn't even hardly talk. He was so upset by the situation. He talked about how you were one of his mentors, you were his FTO training sergeant, and I mean, he looked up to you.
All right, I understand.
All right? And, okay, so getting back to the question, is there any reason why David Zimmer would lie about what happened? Let's just
I have no idea. I don't want to, no, why would he lie?
Absolutely. Because Officer Zimmer, who has, who you agreed to, says has no reason to lie about this, says that you were up against the house and he had to call for you 3 different times.
No, he didn't call me to the box.
And then you turned around and walked the other way.
When I saw the figure standing there, I was like, I just turned and walked back. If I had realized at first he was Officer Zimmer, I'd have just kept walking right toward him. Right? But my initial thought was, it was someone that was living there. I was like, right, that's it.
Jeff minimizes the harm caused to someone who trusted him, but he's yet to clear himself of the heinous allegations.
So what you're saying is that you were walking between the 2 houses towards Officer Zimmer, you saw him, you turned around and he said, "Stop, please."
Yes.
That's the totality.
Yes, that's the totality. That's the amount of time I was between those 2 houses.
And let's go back to how Officer Zimmer, what reason would he have to tell us something that wasn't true? Why would he tell us a different story of what happened?
I have no idea.
You've done this long enough, you're smart enough.
I don't understand.
You know exactly where we're sitting here. And there are things that you need to do, and there are things that you need to take responsibility for and get these things done. Let me tell you, Jeff, let me tell you point blank, you've hurt 2 people in the last 12 hours, and you've hurt them deeply. In David Zimmer and this female.
Jeff struggles to provide a reasonable explanation for his attempt to flee. When the detective highlights the inconsistencies in his statement, Jeff becomes upset and resorts to blustering, especially when combined with his physical gestures of frustration, like smacking his legs and flailing like a child. His strategic use of aggressiveness and frustration is backfiring on him at this point, and is more in line with someone who is guilty. If he was truly innocent, he would be doing everything to explain to his police colleague how he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Instead, he keeps spewing the same bogus story.
The truth is the truth. I've already told it to you, and that's that. I don't know what else to do. Excuse me for getting pissed off here, but I didn't do anything wrong. All right? I did not do anything wrong. Period. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know how else to do it. I don't.
Well, as it's happened in the past, you know that. And I'll just tell you, I'll tell you point blank, I don't think the story is exactly the way you're telling it. I don't
know what Dave Zimmer told you. All right? I don't know what his perception of it was. But the only time
his perception is right on, Jeff. His perception is right on. Exactly right on.
If this is happening to your wife, would you say that you didn't do anything, that person didn't do anything to your wife? I didn't do anything to him.
Jeff sounds like a broken record, lacking a prepared cover story for his situation. He wasn't ready to be caught, and now he's scrambling for a way out.
Didn't do anything to him?
I know, that's what you're saying.
That's what happened. It's not what I'm saying, that's what happened. I didn't do anything to him.
But that's not what 2 other people say.
Right. What the other 2 people say? Right?
Well, Officer Zimmer, okay, his sequel events is a lot different from your sequence. A lot. All right. And to the point, let me reiterate that you just flipped him out.
Did you just say I'm too important? That's a line you shouldn't say at all.
Because I don't know how I flipped him out, but everything was flipped out.
Yeah. He said you weren't yourself. That wasn't my story. I wouldn't be myself either if a police officer confronted me at 12:30 between 2 houses.
Both the victim and the officer have different stories of what happened that night, but Jeff still claims he is the only one who has the story straight. Jeff's uncharacteristic behavior is largely because he realized the gravity of his situation.
You have got to be thinking that this isn't some fishing expedition. We just didn't pick you out of the clear blue sky to come in tonight, correct? Obviously. Again, the only thing I did was walk from the lake in between two houses out to the road, out to Officer Road. But we're leaving out this. We're leaving out you standing up against the wall like this. That did not occur. And an officer that confronted you twice. That did not occur. And then you turning and walking away. Did I turn? Your hands right here.
Jeff continues to stick to his lie without showing any signs of breaking down. Even though he was caught in the act, he refused to admit any wrongdoing. So the detective finally decides to lay it all out for him.
I am not buying what you're telling me. I got 1 second. For 1 second. You know that I've done this for a long time, and you've done it for, yes, I have. You've done it for a long time. And I didn't do anything wrong last night. I know. And you know what? You were not Sergeant Hilo last night. You were absolutely somebody else. And we can sit here and you can say, this is what I did, and I can sit here and say, this is what we know, till the cows come out. Because you know what it's like to be sitting in this chair. I understand. Okay? All right. And I know there are times that people are literally telling you the truth. And a good interview will figure that out. Like, I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong.
In an attempt to divert attention from the inconsistencies in his story, Jeff resorts to a petty and desperate move, insulting the detective by suggesting that a good investigator would know he's telling the truth. This is a clear effort to undermine the detective's credibility and deflect from the weaknesses in Jeff's narrative. It proves that he's on his last legs. He knows it's almost over.
You also know, right, that a good interview will sit here and know when someone's not telling you the truth. So yes, you're right. All right. Yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry. All right. And your perception of me right now is I'm not telling the truth. Not just because you're sitting here telling me that you didn't do it. It's because we've got a whole host of other things that says you did. And that's what you're dealing with. You're just not listening to reality. You're just not listening to reality. The only thing you can say is I walked from the lake between the houses, the officer, and I didn't do it. However, I had a police officer, I had a victim, I had mentally in the area. I mean, it's not looking good for Jeff Palo.
It wasn't looking good for Jeff Palo indeed. He was then arrested for attempted burglary and stalking and was put behind bars. Police then ransacked his house looking for any evidence to link him to the assaults. Luckily, they found a pile of them, including a computer that contained several materials depicting the exact methods used to assault the women. They also found his tools of the trade: flashlight, ski mask, gloves, and a jacket. The police finally found their serial rapist. And in June 2008, Jeff was found guilty on 35 counts, including 25 counts of aggravated sexual assault, and was sentenced to 440 years in prison, later reduced to 375 years. If you enjoy true crime videos like this, make sure you're subscribed.
Shit! My man got 375 years. My man's never seen the light of day ever again. Holy crap. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.